Hello and welcome to Cupcakes and Crafts. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made these easy bottles of beer cake pops. The first thing you will need is a baking tray lined with parchment paper. I've also got some vanilla buttercream, you can use whatever flavour you want. I've got my cake crumbs, I'm using a chocolate cake crumb. I've also got some paper lollipop sticks. I've got some chocolate, which is a cake covering chocolate, which is easy to melt. There's also an option of using the yellow candy melts along with some yellow fondant, and then this is what makes our cake pop look more realistic. I just got these cupcake toppers off eBay and I'll leave a link to these ones down below. And these are just a riced paper cupcake topper. And to make us beer bottle labels, we'll need a rolling pin, a sharp knife, a paintbrush and a tiny bit of water. I also use a little bit of icing sugar to stop that fondant from sticking, and a cake pop stand. I'm just going to bring the mixture together with my hand and keep going till it's well combined. When making my cake pops, I like to use half the amount of buttercream compared to what I have got for the cake crumb. When I do my normal size cake pop balls, I usually do it at 30 grams, but these beer bottle ones, I've weighed them at 35 grams because I need them to be a little bit bigger for that label. I started by turning the cake crumb into a sausage shape, tapering at the top for the neck, and then keeping it larger and wider at the bottom, just referring back to that rice paper topper as a guide for what size I need. And when you've worked your way through all your mixture, it's time to let them chill in the fridge. While the cake pops are chilling in the fridge, I'm going to get on with preparing the labels. So just taking a normal pair of scissors and cutting that centre out of each one of them cupcake toppers. Then taking a piece of that yellow fondant, I'm just going to knead it in between both hands, make it nice and soft, and then roll it out as thin as I possibly can. I did end up using a little bit of icing sugar to stop it from sticking, and you can just see how thin I've rolled it to. I probably couldn't roll my icing any thinner without tearing it, so the next thing I'm going to do is just cut round that template, that rice paper cupcake topper, just for the shape of the label. And I've done this first because when you actually apply water onto your rice paper, it has got a tendency to curl. So using the smallest amount of water, I'm just going to cover that piece of fondant and press on that topper. And you can see already how quickly that is already starting to curl up. But just work your way through all your rice paper cupcake toppers and just smoothing off all the sides with your fingers, creating a neat finish. And once you've made all your labels, I then took mine, placed them facing down and placed on a silicone cake mould, which just provided a bit of weight to help them dry, straightened and not curl up as much. And then taking that cake covering chocolate, I've just melted it in the microwave for 30 seconds at a time. 30 seconds, taking it out, giving it a good stir and back in for another 30 seconds. I'm just going to take my lollipop stick, apply a little bit of that chocolate onto the end and insert it as straight as I can through the centre of the bottom of each one of them cake pops. And then just taking my finger to smooth it off because I don't want no blob at the bottom. I want it to be as level as it possibly can. And when you've done that to all your cake pops, it's time to put them back in the fridge to chill again. After 10 minutes chill time in fridge, with that chocolate nice and runny again, your label's ready. It's time to dunk the entire cake pop into your chocolate. Make sure that chocolate comes all the way up top to your lollipop stick, and then gently removing any excess chocolate off. And you can do that just by gently tapping your hand and working quite quickly. You want to pick up your label, place it the right way up and put it in the centre of that cake pop. Just gently pushing it into the chocolate. That chocolate will tend to dry quite quickly and harden because them cake pops will be quite cold with just coming out of the fridge. And then repeat that process to all your cake pops, and then we can pop them in the fridge to set again for another 10 minutes. If you've got any of your labels what need just a little bit more support, or the chocolate's not drying quite as quick, just keep holding on to its sides and putting a little bit of pressure there to help it set. And all we need to do to finish them beer bottle cake pops is to make us lid. You have got an option of melting down some yellow candy melts, and it would be as simple as just dipping the lid into them yellow candy melts. But I've opted to use yellow fondant, so I'm just going to take a little amount, roll it out into a ball and then flatten it down just with my fingers. And then placing it on the top of one of the beer bottles, I'm just going to work it with my finger and fetch it down the side of the beer bottle ever so slightly. And then using just a butter knife, I'm going to straighten the edge and then make some indents all the way around using the back of that knife. And that'll just to help create that bottle top effect. And once all your beer bottles have got a lid on them, that's them finished. Thank you very much for watching.